Hi everyone. Good evening. Yes, it's evening. It's 5 p.m. So good evening everyone. I trust that we're having a good day. This is the first Saturday of the month. So happy new month officially. And welcome to this highly anticipated live session. I am very excited. I don't know about you, but I am very, very excited. And I look forward to our conversation today. So I want to give a few minutes to have a little more persons here. I hope you can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, let me know in the chat. And if you also cannot hear me, let me know in the chat. So I'm just going to give a few minutes for as many people want to join. Please, you can invite your friends. You can invite even your enemies. Yes. So I'm going to give a few minutes for as many people to join in. Um, and once it is 5:05, we will get started. Hi, hi guys. And I am finally back. I can see the comments. You can hear me, but there's a bit of an echo. I don't know if the echo is still there or if it's gotten better now. So I will be getting started now, but I need to. All right, I need a few minutes. I want to quickly shut the door and then we'll get started. Okay, guys. All right, and we are back and we are ready to get started. Officially, good evening, everyone. I trust we had a lovely week and the weekend is looking well. If you did not know or if you're just finding out, um, this is a live series or this is a live session that is titled Hidden Places Your Business is Losing Money. And we are going to be talking about the hidden places that your business is losing money, as the title suggests. But first of all, who am I and why do I get to have this conversation with you? My name is Grace. Founder and beauty to Grace. And am a I am a strategist and I'm a marketing and I am a very anxious person who's really nervous right now. I am a marketing and funnel strategist and I have worked with quite a number of brands to help them build out their funnels and also build out their marketing systems. And what brought about this live session, what even brought about the conversations that I've been having since the year began. So last year, I was very heavy on visibility. In fact, I was very heavy on the entire system and structure from the point of visibility down to sales, right? And then in the process of working with a couple of brands, I realized that not just visibility is a problem. A lot of businesses, their problem is they don't have a structure that actually carries visibility towards sales, right? There's no connecting structure, and so there's that breaking transmission at all times, right? So you have a lot of traction, you're getting a lot of traffic, but it's not really going anywhere. It's not really translating to anything, and it seems like you're just doing a lot of work and there's no much result to show for it. And that is the conversation that we're going to have today. On one part of the conversation, we have people talk about, oh, you are leaving money on the table, and that is when you don't have leads and you don't nurture them. On the other side, you don't even realize that you are losing money, or you are seeing it come out, you're seeing it play out in different aspects of your business. Maybe all you're seeing right now is that, oh my God, I am getting a lot of traction online, but it's not translating to sales. Or you're seeing it as, oh, people show interest in my business, people show interest in my products, they even hop on a call with me. But by the time I send them the prices, they kind of run away. So we see it from the symptoms, right? But the root is the fact that your system is leaking, and that leak is what we're going to talk about today. So apart from this live session, I have two major resources that I think would be linked in the comments. The first one is I have a free guide called the Business Leak Guide, and that is a guide that breaks down three of the systems and actually takes you from a point of identifying that this is the leak that I have to the point of fixing it, right? There's a fix in there. And then I have a bundle that is coming up, and by the end of this session, I am going to be giving as a I'm going to be giving the opportunity to pre-order the bundle. It's not ready yet. It's in the process of being put together. However, you can pre-order it and get it at a ridiculous price, honestly. So I guess stick around till the end of the session, and I will be sharing my screen anytime from now. All right, so let's get into the conversation. Okay, So, our topic is hidden places that your business is losing money. And what we're going to be doing is identifying and fixing these hidden business leaks and that transform in order to ensure that we're transforming interest into sustainable growth in our revenue and in our businesses. So, what does this look like, right? A lot of the times, it look like us working so hard. You're showing up online. You're replying to messages. You're answering questions. You're even doing the work and doing it well. Oh, I see that the screen is blank. I don't know if it has popped up now. It doesn't show an error at this side. Okay, the screen is back. Okay. Sorry, I just need a few minutes to pull up a few things on my screen. Okay, yes, as I was saying before, I got slightly distracted. So I was talking about what this looks like when your business is losing money, um, but you don't necessarily know, right? You are doing a lot of work, right? But you seem to be restarting your income every month. So at the beginning of the month, it seems like you are trying to think of, oh, how do I even start getting clients again? So you work with clients this month, you get them, you deliver the work, you get paid, and then at the end of the month is like, oh yeah, how do I get clients next month? Because your focus at that point was only ensuring that the work is done, and so you've neglected your entire journey. You've neglected the rest of the other people, and at that point, you're now at a very flight or fight, sorry, flight or fight response, right? You're kind of panicking and trying to get the next best money, right? And this is something that we're going to fix today. So the goal of this session is not to tell you to push harder, you can do better, you can show up better. You've done that already, you're doing that already, you're showing up better, you're doing the very best that you can do. The problem is not about you showing up, it's not about visibility, it's not about any of those. The problem is that you don't have a system that supports everything that you are doing. And so you're consistently putting in effort and then it's draining. So just think of it as a basket, right? A basket that has holes in it, and then you're trying to fetch water out of the tap. So no matter how much you turn the tap under that basket, it's gonna leak. And so there's no amount of effort that you put in that's gonna give you the results you need if you don't fix this leaking system. And so we are going to fix the silent struggle, right? We're going to fix inconsistent results, repetitive cycle, right? This is genuinely for a lot of businesses, and I know this from experience because I have been that freelancer who would finish working with a client and then I don't know where the next client is coming from, and that cycle is a make or break cycle, right? And we're going to figure out what the underlying cause is and fix it. Now, and also what we're going to do throughout the session in detail is, one, we're going to understand the core issues, right? What are the systems that are connecting your visibility to cash system, right? We're going to understand the purpose of the visibility to cash system. We're going to understand the importance of designing a customer journey, right? The truth is, the visibility to cash system is a journey of your customers, and if you do not pay attention into designing it, then you are going to keep there's gonna be that is what is causing the gap because you don't design it right. We're going to see the consequences of a poorly designed system, and we're going to see the outcome of an effective system. So why does money leak quietly? Number one, in conversations that you kind of lose the opportunities out of them, right? You don't follow those conversations to the end. And a lot of us make this mistake. We are not paying attention to all conversations. We just see some conversations and feel like, okay, yeah, this is a conversation that I think is going to bring the kind of result that I'm looking for, but I don't think this is going to. And we've not even engaged this person, right? Another thing that causes leaks, which we're also going to go into, is unstructured follow up. A lot of us do follow up on the moment, like just on the whim. When you think about it, is when you actually do the follow up, and that is not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a system which is happening consistently and somewhat automated, right? And we're going to look at all of that. And at the end of this session, you're going to be able to identify where your business is currently leaking money, right? You're going to be able to prioritize the critical leak. Now, the mistake a lot of business owners might make at the end of this session is that you feel like, yes, you're leaking in all the different stages that we talk about, and immediately you want to try and fix everything, but maybe that's going to put you in trouble. So we're going to prioritize ensuring that we fix the most critical leak. Some leaks are much bigger than some others, and when you fix the biggest ones, right, we'll be able to now sort out the other ones. And then I'm going to give you a path to implement to ensure that you're not just watching, you're not just knowing, but you're actually implementing. So, what are the four major leak points in every business? One, visibility without direction. When you have attention, when you have traffic, but is leading nowhere. And a lot of people will think, oh, but I have call to action. Oh, but I tell them to send a DM. Oh, but I have a landing page. I have a link tree. I have a link in bio. So, what do you mean by direction? Well, we're going to talk about that, right? The second is interest without a process. So, somebody is having a conversation with you, and you are taking 10 days to finish up the conversation. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be tired, right? I'm going to clock out of that conversation, especially because clients are busy. They are weighing a lot of options as well. Fortunately and unfortunately, you're not the only one they're talking to. Yes. When you're trying to buy something online, I feel, except maybe you were recommended to that person or that person was recommended to you, a lot of the times you are also checking out other options. You're weighing options. Okay, who is cheaper, who is more expensive, you know, and that is the same thing that's happening with your clients. And so if there is no process to be able to guide that interest, you're gonna lose them. Another, the third one is pricing without follow-up. You've sent the pricing, you've sent the proposal, you've told them this is how we're gonna work together, and you don't hear back from them, and you feel like this is not my target audience. They cannot afford me. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That is a major leak point for a lot of business owners that I see today, and it kind of pisses me off because you are losing a lot of money. And then the last one is delivery without retention. A lot of us are more focused on ensuring that we get the first sale. And so once we have a new client who buys something, who pays for a service, and then we just move on and start looking for the next client. That person who has trusted you enough to pay for something can still trust, especially when you deliver, right? They should be able, it is easier to get them to trust you again to pay for something else, especially when you deliver. If you don't deliver, please, this conversation is for you. I think you have to shift out of here because you're not. So, but if you've delivered and you have given them something good, right, or you've given them a product or whatever, you should be able to have a retention strategy to ensure that you keep them in your system, you keep them hooked, you keep them buying from you. And this is also another lead point. So now let's start with the very first leak point, and that is visibility without direction. Now, this one, I think it happens to a lot of us, right? And the best way to identify that this is your own problem is that you are consistently getting engagements, right? You have compliment shares, comments. People are saying, "Oh my god, I like this," but it doesn't seem to move into payments. It doesn't seem to move into something else, right? And what this is costing you is your time and energy that you're using to create the content. A lot of us, especially, this shows up as educational content that is just educational. And like people see it and they're like, oh my god, this is so good. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Or this is very smart. I love this. Or I love your work. But that's where the conversation ends, right? Now, I know that we would make the argument of, oh, if somebody loves my work or if somebody loves what I have to say, they should be able to send me a DM and, but what if at that moment they just scroll, I love your work, I love this, and that's it. They kind of just scroll off. It did not register fully with them, right? And sometimes a good scenario is maybe you're scrolling and then you like something, but because of getting distracted or whatnot, you scroll past, and weeks later you remember that, oh, I need this thing, but I cannot remember. You genuinely cannot remember. Does that mean you did not need it? No. Maybe at that point you were not thinking about it, but somehow your brain is trying to remember and you can't quite remember. Imagine you left a comment and then the person now sends you a message and say, oh hi, I saw this comment, um and just tries to follow up with you based on that comment that you left, right? Imagine how helpful that is, right? And I know that as business owners, we tend to feel very cringe very easily. I can relate to that a little too well, because you don't want to feel like I'm being pushy. You don't want to feel like, oh, I'm trying to do too much. I'm all up in people's faces. Maybe the worst that they could tell you is no. The worst they could tell you is, oh no, I'm not interested in this at the moment. I was just scrolling past. And that's not gonna kill you. If anything, it's gonna make you stronger. And so that is why it is important that, one, you're able to capture all of these interactions very quickly and very easily. And then the next thing that you have to also do is that your content is a pathway. I feel like this is talked about sometimes, but maybe not in the level of depth, right? A lot of people feel like it is just call to actions, or it's just I have a freebie. What happens? Why should I get that freebie, and what does that lead me to, right? That is a very, very important conversation that we need to start having in our businesses. So yes, I'm leading people to a free lead magnet, right? I'm leading you to this free class. What happens here and what happens after? So while I, the person, might not necessarily need to know, you need to ensure that you have a system that makes this a thing, right? So that it is not just there. It's not just a something, a checklist that you click off. No, it has to be a guided direction. And so I believe that we've talked about this, how it shows up and what it costs. A lot of the times, when we don't have guided, if our content is not guided enough, right, to guide direction, to guide the traffic that we're getting, we're going to be attracting a lot of spectators instead of buyers. And what does this, what is the direct impact? You're pushing a lot of time, effort, energy into creating content, and there's no progress. And so you start to overthink your content. You start to feel like, oh, everything that I'm doing is not worth it, it's not this, it's not that. Sometimes it might make us to actually reduce the quality of the content, whereas the content is not necessarily the problem. The problem is that the content just doesn't have a path that is following through, right? And so, how do we fix this leak? Number one, create direction instead of posting more. The solution is not to go and create more pieces of content. No. The solution is to understand where you are leading people. Honestly, understand where you are leading them. So at this point, for the month of January, February, March, what is the goal of my content? Where do I want people to go? And how do I want this to happen? Right? How does that, what's the direction looking like, right? The second thing is to decide on your clear action, which is basically kind of what I'm talking about, right? What do I want them to do? Do I want them to go into my free community? Do I want them to go into my email system? Do I want them to get a freebie and then I have like a nurture system at the back? What exactly is the clear action that I want them to take, right? And then consistently invite them to the next step. So, here's what to do and how to do it. Oh, you're here. Hi, fancy seeing you here. Here's what to do and how to do it. Oh, you're here. Hi, fancy seeing. So, like, ensure that that is consistent. Why? Because people forget, right? Two, because people forget, right? So, it is important that we make it a consistent and conscious effort to let them know that this is what I want you to do and this is where I need you to be, and then guide interested people forward, right? So once people have raised up their hands, they've showed interest, ensure that you're holding their hand and you are guiding them to the next step, right? And another thing that I'm not sure if it's here, right, is it's not here. The other thing that needs to be said is be clear on what your next step is. So a lot of people within the space of 1 week get this freebie, get that freebie, join this community, get this freebie, get that freebie. So, one, it shows up in two ways. One, you're not saying the same thing consistently, right? And or repeatedly, consistently and repeatedly. And when you're not repeatable, people easily drop off. They forget. Do you know how much content we consume on a day? Now run that back in the mind of your audience, run that back in the mind of your clients, and then run that back in the mind of someone who is busy, especially if we are targeting B2B people. The person is working, right? So maybe they came online to just decompress, right? To scroll, and then they come across your stuff like, oh, nice stuff. This looks like something I've been looking for. Interesting. Click on save, but that's the end, right? Because I have forgotten. So maybe later I'm like, oh, that's true. I saved this thing. Could be weeks later, could be months later, right? And if it is not a consistent message that you're putting out, when they come in there, there's gonna be confusion, and you most likely will lose that person, right? On the other flip side, you will just confuse the person. So if today I come in and I follow you and you say, oh, get my free guide, and then tomorrow you, oh, get this other free guide, and next tomorrow, so which one exactly am I supposed to do, right? So ensure that you have a clear next step. So now let's move into the leap two, interest without a process. Oh my God, I feel like I have to come clean and say that this one is something that I recently fixed in my business. And I think it is something that a lot of businesses, right, really struggle with. A lot of us do not have a clear process to manage interest. So when somebody shows interest, when someone sends a DM of hi, I'm interested, at that point you're scrambling. You're trying to look for, okay, hello, thank you for sharing your interest. This is how you have, so at that point is where you're trying to put the message together. You don't have a clear template, you don't have a clear anything. And when they are responding to you, you don't know how to respond. This is a very big issue because a lot of the times, if your client can sense it, if your client can sense that there's no process, or if a prospect can sense that there's no process, sorry, if a prospect can sense that there is no process, it is a signal, it's a red flag to them. And you most likely will lose that person, right? A lot of the times, it's even just the fact that there is no process is what makes you lose them. Why? You're not even tracking it. You don't even know how to say, you don't even have a signifier in your system that says, okay, yes, this person is a lead, this person is not a lead to buy something, this person is a lead to maybe refer to resources, this person is a lead to maybe send into my community, right? But because you don't have a clear process inside, you don't have a timeline for doing things, an SOP, basically, right? You don't have any of those, you're gonna lose that person. And what does it show? Like, your DMs are busy. I'm sorry about the font. Your DMs are busy, and yet there's no conversion, right? You have people sending you DMs, but somehow you're losing it. Some people, if you even ask them, oh, so what is your conversion rate? Like, I'm sorry, what was that? Right? How many leads do you get on a weekly basis? They can't tell you, right? How many of these leads actually go into to sales? They can't tell you. How many of these leads become a I'm coming out, I'm coming back or something? They can't tell you because you're not even paying attention enough to be able to track that and then to be able to guide that. There's no existing process. So how do you do this? First of all, have a system for acknowledging interest. Have a flow. So we thank God for Instagram today. I think even WhatsApp has the same thing. And we also have tons of automation bots out today. Although please do your research so that you don't lose any of your accounts. Anyways, we have these tools that help you to automate this. And so when somebody sends a message, I have a mini chat automation, for example, on my Instagram. And so my bio says DM structure. Once you DM me structure, there is a series of messages that it triggers. So even if I'm sleeping, even if I'm awake, even if I'm not in the mood to talk to anybody, I don't really feel like responding to my DMs. That baby is being taken care of. So there is a way that captures and acknowledges interest, right? The next thing is to clarify needs and timelines. Please and please do not stress your prospect. Yes, do not stress your prospects. Don't give them questions they can easily understand and answer, that is very clear for them to be able to say, this is what I need, right? So have questions down in your system that helps them to be able to say, oh yes, this is what I need. And you can do it as a multiple choice thing, right? ManyChat, for example, has that option. And so you can say, oh, are you trying to fix this or this or this or this at this time? What is the time frame for this? What's the most important thing to you right now? Basically, all of that questions, why you want to be able to follow the conversation in their head, but you also want to have it move in such a way that it is easy for them to give their answer, right? And then present one clear next step. For some people, it's not yet time to give them payments. That's why they disappear, because you whipped out that baby too fast, right? For some, you need to schedule a call. For some, you have to give them the options. Okay, so here's what looking for moving forward looks like with us, right? Are you interested in scheduling a call, or would you like to have somebody walk you through, for our SaaS people, or if it's relevant to your industry, would you like to have a free demo, right, of our product? Or for product, I don't see a lot of product businesses do this, by the way. And I think if you're listening to me, you should probably steal this strategy. For product businesses, you can decide, if you have tester products, you can decide to let them know, okay, I know that you're struggling with whether this works for you or not. So we have this tester product. Would you like us to send one or two batches to you? And so you can be able to test and let us know if you like it. That's what your suya guy is doing, by the way. And that's why when you taste the suya, you have no option but to buy. And so ensure that that next step is clear, and let them be able to say, okay, yeah, I want to do this instead, or I'm not sure this is going to work for me. I think I should do this instead. Help them to help you. All right. So we have talked about this, and then let's talk about how it shows up and what it costs. So I think honestly, in a way, we already know what it costs us, because you can very, very much relate to Sometimes you don't even have a pipeline. Let's even begin from there, right? You don't have a pipeline, and so it just feels like you're always chasing clients. You're always looking for clients. You're always looking for clients, right? Sometimes you feel like, oh, people are unserious. Now, maybe they're not unserious. You are the unserious one, actually. You don't have the system to capture them when they show interest. And so we have talked about, oh, sorry, sorry, I have mixed it up a bit. So we're done with the league two. Let's move on to league three. League three is pricing without follow up. And this one is this is something we all know. We all know, do and love, right? So I send my price to a prospect, and then they say, "All right, I'm reviewing the document." They want passes, and I say, "Hi, hello, just checking in there." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm on it. Just give me a few hours or something." They two passes, they not saying anything, I don't say anything. They three passes, they're not saying anything, I don't say anything. They four passes, I don't think this person is serious. I move on to the next. We make a lot of assumptions about silence. We often feel like, oh, because this person is not saying anything, it means they don't want this. Or the very Nigerian one, they are not my target audience, they don't have my money. A lot of the times money is not even the issue. We all can we all can I'm trying to find the English word. We all can say that at some point we have bought something that was way out of our budget. Some of us even had to do payment plans just because we knew that this thing is worth it. This thing, yes, I need this thing. Was pricing an issue? No. That is because whatsoever could have been an issue, pricing was second to it, right? You knew that this thing is so worth it that I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to get this thing. And so if I have to put in for a payment plan, if I have to save up the money and buy it. And so that is exactly what, apologies please, that is exactly what we should be doing. When you say pricing to people and they keep quiet, it does not automatically mean they don't want to buy, except they say it to their mouths. As in, you followed up and followed up and followed up and followed up and followed up. And then they said, yeah, I'm not interested again. Sorry, I don't want to buy. Or this is way out of my budget at this time, and maybe I'll think about you sometime later. That is when you can give up. There's no giving up. You have to understand the reason why they are silent, and that is the importance of following up. A lot of the times, we don't know why people are not buying from us. You just say, oh, people are not buying. The market is tough. The economy is terrible. That's not what's happening. There, sometimes it could be that there's a timing issue. This period that you're selling this thing is not the time that most people want to get this thing. And so they're not going to get it because for them, it's not a need. And so you, at that point, you have to understand, okay, what is the need? Or how do I shift the timing? How do I solve this problem? A lot of the times, it could just be that they're comparing you. And so you have to figure out how do you rank higher on the value board, because that is comparison does not mean that they will choose the cheaper one. That is the truth. This is something we all know from experience. There are times when we have two things on the table and they say, oh, this one is 150K, this one is 100K. You now look at it. I think this 150K is worth it. You did not think about it because it was cheaper. You left the 100K on, you went for the 150K on, and that is because of the value that you saw in the 150K on, right? And so some other times it could be just objections that they have, right? They are hesitating based on something. They've tried a product like that in the market, and then it probably didn't give them what they wanted, and so they are scared of spending that money. They've been scammed before, or they've had a what I ordered versus what I got experience. You job is to help them soothe these objections. And when you just leave them and say, oh, this person is not serious, or it's not my target audience, or they don't have the money to pay me, you've lost out on that sale. That person is very, very much a customer as the person who is ready to pay. Why? The only difference is there are different times in their mental state, right? And so I think I've talked about how it shows up, and I think we all know what it costs anyway. first of all, you have almost clients who ask for price and then they disappear, right? You follow, and then when you're now following up, you just check in. I am checking in. Did you see our price list? Yes, I saw it. Quiet. You're supposed to have a script. You're supposed to have a system that checks in consistently. You check in so much that the person is gonna have to answer you. Because when I see that I have six missed messages from this person, mind you, this is not a cold lead though. Please, let's get this straight. This is not a cold person that you just found off the internet and you started to disturb their life. No, this person has shown interest up until the point where you set pricing, right? And so we also see this show forth on our revenue, right? On your numbers, especially if you're somebody who now starts to track your lead to conversion rate, you would see that okay, it's beginning to decline. And impact on market perception, you're gonna be feeling like people are not buying. Nah, baby, people are not. It's not people are not buying. You're not following up with them. And so, how do we fix it? Understand the role of follow up. Follow up is important, right? It's important that you have a follow up system. And then, your key element of a good follow up system is to clarify decision timelines. When somebody says, "Oh, I'll get back to you," don't leave them. I don't like to hear "I'll get back to you." It's too broad. I need to know when you will get back to me, right? So give me a time frame. Okay, so should I follow up with you on Monday or on Friday, right? So I'm not even waiting for you to get back to me. I don't need that. I am going to get back to you. I'm the one that needs your money, right? So I want to know when is the best time to get back to you. Surface real hesitation. So ask them when it seems like oh they're pulling back, right? So what is the concern? Why are you not why are you not moving forward with this? And then let it be open ended so that they can share with you and say, oh, the reason is because I've tried something like this before. And the person scammed my life. And so I'm very scared to make a commitment. All right. So at that point, it's not even for you to start saying, oh, I'm not a scammer. The devil does not use to write it on his head that he's a scammer, right? Sorry about that. Um, at that point, you reassure them, but you reassure them with proof, right? You go and dig up, okay, we've done this for this person, and we've done this for this person, and we've done this for this person. This is in my little way of showing you that we deliver. We are not a scammer, right? And then offer the next clear step. So yes, you show them the pricing, but if maybe they're having issues with payments, they're telling you, oh, this money that you put here, it's too big for me. I don't think I can vomit this money within this time frame. Like, oh no problem. We have a payment plan, and if you just do this and this and this and this is how the payment plan works, and this is how, right? Ensure that you're clear. And I think one way that helps with this is understanding your system from top to the very bottom. Right? When you are one with your system, it's easy for you to be able to do this. So you know that okay, at this point when people are interested, this is what happens. At this point when people are interested but they are still shaky, this is what we do. At this point when people show no interest at all, yes, even when they say okay, no, I'm not buying again, it shouldn't kill. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying go and spam them again even after they said I'm not buying again. I'm saying it should not kill the conversation. So you should have a soft pedal thing that you use to, step into the next one. Oh, yeah, I understand that you're not interested. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you even showing interest, anyways. So this and this and this is what we have. Just in case you want to check out our other resources. A good way is actually to lead them to free resources, right? And then the last fix is understand the benefits of a structured follow up, right? Sales ends with decisions. And so when you structure your follow up, it is easier. Even when we start to feel like, oh my God, I am feeling very awkward and I feel very cringe to send a message. If you have a system for following up, if you have a set of scripts, and this is one of the reasons why you should buy the bundle. The scripts in there, baby, is good, right? And so when you have something like that, it is easier for you. You just Control C and Control P the baby, right? You don't have to overthink. You don't have to think about everything and anything. No, it's already there, and all you have to do is just let it do the work. And then we are finally at leak 4, delivery without retention. I honestly think that this is something that we're going to have to trash on its own. This is a whole system of its own, right? And that's because this is what happens after you have worked with the person. A lot of us don't have relationship and we don't have client maintenance strategies, right? So somebody has worked with you, and that's where it ends. Are you in? Are you? Are you a Lagos plumber or something, right? Especially when you do good work, right? You have to ensure that your system is built in such a way that it moves into the next thing. It's just like a no-brainer. There is a next step. There's a next thing, and there is consistent relationship with your clients. That you work with them is not the end of the except I don't think there's any devil incarnate, but maybe those are the considerations that we can give. But to be honest, we need to ensure that we are building relationships. So we're not just doing work, we're not just delivering, but we're also building relationships with the people. Um, the reason why you need to do this, consequence of leak 4, right, is that your clients become one-time transactions, and honestly you don't want that. You see that feeling you have when you are finishing one client work and you're like, hell, I don't know where the next person is coming from. That is not supposed to be if you have a retention system, right? It allows you to continue instead of starting from scratch, right? So that is the importance of having this system. And so what does this look like? It looks like referrals happening sporadically. Oh my God. A lot of us, referrals will happen one time in 10 months or something, just once in a very, very long time, right? And when you have this system, it kind of helps it. The person is sort of incentivized to refer you, right? Another thing is you're having feedback, but there's no repeat sale. So this person says, "Oh, this person is good. They help me to do this and do this and do this and do this and do this, and this is the kind of result." Now, of course, there are times when, for some people, it's like a no-brainer for them. Oh, you help me to do this, I must work with you forever and ever, right? They're already asking you, but your system has to be set up such that they don't need to ask you. It is already like a no-brainer for them. It's a part of the system, it's a part of the flow, right? That they are seeing, okay, this is how to work with you for the next time, right? And then it causes unpredictability, and it limits your growth, limits your business growth, right? So how do we fix it? Have clear close out systems, right? Offboarding system, basically that's the simplest way to put it. Have a good offboarding system such that you say, okay, well, auntie, based on the thing that we agreed upon in the contract, this is what we've delivered to you. Kindly confirm that as you ordered A is what was delivered, right? Right. And then you have scheduled check-in. Somebody has finished working with you. That's not the end of the journey. That's not where the road stops. Consistently check in with them and say, "Oh, hi, what's up? How's it going? How you for strategists, for example, how are you able to, implement the strategy that we gave to you? Are you having fun with it? Also have next step recommendations, right? So based on how we have worked on this thing and this thing and this thing that I've given to you, I think this is gonna be a very good next step for you. Based on what I understand is the problem here, I think this is gonna be the next step for you. And also have professional referral prompt. Ensure that referral is like a thing that you prompt them to do. Let them know that there's something in it for you. If even if there's nothing in it for them, right? But let them feel obligated to refer you, and not just to refer you at any point in time, oh, to refer you the time that you want them to refer you. And yes, it might sound like, is she speaking magic? Nah, baby, it's all strategy. Yes, it's all strategy, and that is one of the things that we're going to be doing in I have a challenge coming up, by the way, and I think we're going to be talking about that next. And both in the challenge and in the paid workbook, these are the things that we're going to be building out for your business. We're going to ensure that you actually have these systems, these structures in place, so that it's not looking like magic to you. It's like a reality to you, right? So now we've talked about all the leaks, right? Here's how we move forward. I want you to identify your primary leak. So look at your funnel, look at your journey, look at your business, look at everything that you're doing, and try and ask yourself, am I getting which one is it for me, right? So is it that I'm getting a lot of attention, but it's not going anywhere, right? It's not turning into inquiries. And based on what we've discussed, why could that be the case? So is it my content that is the problem? Right? My content is not having that direction to draw people from the point of seeing me as a freebie, or seeing me as a teacher, or seeing me as a resource, right? Into seeing me as a solution. Or is it that they are actually showing interest, but I'm not being able to convert them? People are just going cold and maybe follow up. For some people, you know in the depth of your heart that you don't follow up well. That is your primary leak. So all these other ones, maybe your content is actually doing a good job, it's getting people in, but you're not following up with these people. You don't have a system to capture their interest, have a conversation that leads to results with them, right? And for some other people, is it client retention? Is it that after I've worked with somebody, that's the end of the journey for them? That's the end of the journey for me, right? Identify your primary link. And when you've identified your primary link, sit down to fix it, right? So this video is going to be available on YouTube for as long as maybe till we do the next one. That is going to be better, right? But this video is going to be available, and then you can go through and see how to fix that leak that you have identified. And another way is my challenge. Yes, so we're going to be having a challenge late this month. I think from the 20th. I should have it. Yes, we are kicking off on the 21st of February, and we're going to have a kickoff call on the 20th. And the process, this is going to be a 1 month challenge. And basically, the theme of this challenge is for you to stop looking for new people and build a system that can help you build on the old people that you have. Like, just, I know the joy to get new leads, the joy to get new people, but let's calm down and actually build out the systems. And that's what we're going to do for that 1 month. For like the first 12 days of the 1 month, we are going to be having email prompts on how to build out each system. And so you're going to focus as you're signing up actually for the challenge. The sign up sheet is going to be available by tomorrow. So as you're signing up for the challenge, you will also have the portion where you have, okay, what is my primary leak, right? So you see that primary leak, yes, that's what you now focus on, right? And so while we're giving you the prompts, the things that you do, you're focused and consistent on doing that. We're also going to have a WhatsApp group chat for accountability, for checking in on one another and all of that. And so the goal is that as we are learning in the emails, as the emails is telling you what to do, you're using the community to ensure that you're implementing. And then if you now want to start implementing faster, that is all I have built the bundle for. So the business leak fix bundle is a 7 system workbook. It's called a bundle because that baby thick. It is a lot of tools. It's a lot of SOPs, tools, scripts, and templates that you can use to implement across the seven major systems. Now, I talked about four of the fixes, but we have seven systems that encapsulate these fixes, right? And each of these systems has been thoroughly drilled into, right? So, for example, I think we have a script library, a follow up script library, and it takes you from the point of when the person shows interest and they say, I am interested, right? How do you lead them the conversation down to ensuring that they pay you? Even when they start showing hesitations, how do you answer? Right? Even when they you send your proposal, right? How do you follow up with them and ensure that okay, you eventually get paid? And so we have that amongst many other things. We have a lead tracker table that you can use, right? So this is not yet ready, but we do have a wait list, and the wait list will be sent to you via email. And yes, the wait list is a paid wait list. So yes, we do have a wait list to secure your place and to ensure that once the bundle is ready and the bundle drops, it drops right into your lap, and then you get ready. I hope that at the as we close this session, right, you'll be able to understand. Apologies, just a second. Yes. So as we come to a close in this session, I hope you've been able to understand what the visibility to cash system looks like, right? And you've been able to see the leaks that your business is having and how to plug in those leaks. And the important thing here is not just to know, but to do. And that is why the implementation processes are also in place. So we have the workbook, and then we have the upcoming challenge, which you would get access to. Trust me, you're going to hear everything about that, baby. Right? So, and that is because it's just one thing to know, but it's more important that you have a way to actually move forward. You have a way to actually implement, because 2026 is the year of the builder. I have said this, I keep saying it, I will continue to say this. 2026 is the year of the builder. Sorry for those who are maybe not spiritual or inclined, but I am not. I am a Christian first before an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur who is plugged into the kingdom. And one heavy message that God has given this year is that He is empowering SMEs, He's empowering entrepreneurs. But it's not going to just happen. The angel is not going to come down and just direct people into your websites. No, baby. You're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to put in the systems. You're going to have to do the work. And part of the work is this visibility to cash system. Once you have the leaks plugged in, you're somewhat good to go. So that every effort, every energy that you put in, the energy, the time, the effort that you put in to create content, to reach out to people, to hop on calls, every single thing that you're doing should be guided so that you can actually see results. I'm going to pause for effect now and pose for questions. Um, if you have any questions to ask, um, if you'd like me to go over your system, I'm just gonna give a minute or two because it's supposed to be 1 hour live and we're way past an hour. So I am monitoring the chats to see if there's a question. But even if you can't ask your question now, there's gonna be an email going out and you'll be able to ask whatever questions and we'll be able to handle them. I pause for effect. All right. In the absence, in the absence of any questions, any clarification, I hope to see you in the upcoming challenge, and hopefully, you get yourself a copy of the bundle so that you can actually start plugging in and fixing your business leaks. 2026 is the year of the builder. I hope you are structured to win. I guess I'll see you in the next live stream, or I'll see you around. Bye.